Zach Schwartz, and joining me today is the one and only true British friend, straight from the motherland, Will Shearon. Will, how are you doing today?
Hi, Zach. Thank you very much for having me on today. I'm doing all right. Sunny day outside, still freezing, but here we are up in Maine, living life. So
good. So you're mentioning you're in Maine. Give the people a little intro of your background, what you do now, just a little peek into Will Shearon's life.
Absolutely. So a little bit about me. As we've said, my name's Will. I moved over from Newcastle upon Tyne up in the northeast of England to Cleveland, Ohio, where I met yourself for my dad's job that was based in Cleveland. And we've been in the States actually 8 years as of 3 days from now, which is quite mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And over that time, we've been all over. Always stayed in Cleveland, obviously now in college, and I study up at the University of New England in Biddeford, Maine, right on the coastline, and it's absolutely brilliant. Playing football here, studying business management. Football, by the way, I mean soccer, as you all know. Of course. Mm-hmm. The real football, the one you use your feet with.
Yep.
And none of this American stuff. And so just being up here, studying business management and sociology.
Awesome.
So a little bit about me.
And you've never, ever, ever used your accent to impress a girl, right? Ever.
Oh, no, never. I'd never do that. No, absolutely never. No.
So reason I have you on today is, of course, to talk a little bit about the English football true version. We haven't done a soccer pod yet, so of course I had to bring on the Brit for that type of expertise that only British people can provide. And the first thing I want to start with is Chelsea, because Chelsea started off very, very strong in the Premier League, in the Europa League, and everything really. And now they're crap. They're complete crap. And I titled this section "Sorry as Crap, Isn't He?" So I'll let you go on a little bit and talk about what you see from Chelsea, and then I can weigh in too.
All right. So what I was going to say is, first of all, obviously I know a bit about football, especially growing up with it. However, the accent definitely helps make this sound more serious.
Incredible.
Really. Yeah. No, really, it's just my opinions. It's not actually factually true. It's all just opinion. But my accent will make it sound as serious as possible. So we'll go with that and see what we can do.
Exactly.
So, Sarri. Maurizio Sarri is, in my opinion, quite useless at the moment. First of all, you look at his hiring after having Conte that won them 2 trophies. Brilliant. Fantastic. You've done all right. Good signing for him. Didn't go too well. I understand the decision to fire him. Sarri wouldn't have been my first choice replacement. I don't think. I'm not a Chelsea fan by any means. For the people out there, my parents are both from Liverpool, so our family's divided. So my mum's a red and my dad's a blue,
right? Which
means I'm obviously an Evertonian. And why would I be supporting the Reds? God, I don't know. It's not like they're any good or anything.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, but also being a fan of Newcastle United my entire life as well, especially growing up there. So. So Chelsea, going back to Sarri, he came from Napoli, where he won absolutely nothing.
Yep, second place.
Domestically or continentally. Yep, second place. I'll give him that. Fair enough. Good appointment. Besides smoking about 50 cigarettes a day,
it's insane.
It's vile, to be honest.
Yep.
Actually, did you ever hear about the booth that Chelsea asked to have put in place on the sideline because you can't smoke in the Premier League?
It's for Sarri to smoke?
Yeah. So they wanted to generally put in, in front of the dugout, a glass screen. This was a while ago because he generally couldn't smoke, because that's against Premier League rules. And he was like, well, I can do it in Italy. And they're like, well, you can't do it here. So he just started eating them. And I'm like, oh good. That's fantastic. Well done, you. So, 6th place. All right. Level with Arsenal, who are equally as crap.
Right. Arsenal in transition, right? With a new manager as well.
Absolutely. And Emery, I've got my opinions on him as well. I think he's not bad. I think he just needs a bit of an adjustment period before he comes down. I think
agree 100%.
I think Arsenal really have figured that out with a very good appointment, and I think that will pay off eventually. I just think, to be honest with you, that Sarri is just pretty stubborn. Mm-hmm. And for a fan, I can't imagine, he must be pretty infuriating. I mean, if you're Callum Hudson-Odoi sitting on the bench last night in the FA Cup, 2-0 down, why? Why would you bring on another defender?
Yep.
I mean, just send everything out. And it just little things like that, because he clearly has who he has as favourites.
Yes.
Jorginho, good player, good signing. Hasn't done anything. You may as well spell his name backwards and it's still useless. Mm-hmm. And I think that he needs to switch. I mean, obviously he needs to switch it up, but to lose 6-0 to City, was that last week?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, they lost to Man U on Monday and then lost 6-0 the previous week to Man City.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. So 6-0 to City. Granted, City are beyond world class, in my opinion. I mean, every time they went forward, I was like, goal. And they scored.
Yep.
Aguero, or something would come out of it.
Yeah, Aguero especially with a hat trick.
Absolutely. He was phenomenal. I mean, to be level with Shearer on hat tricks now is just a phenomenal achievement. So fair play to him. But defensively, Chelsea were rubbish. Yeah. They were absolutely rubbish. I'm a goalkeeper myself. I think Kepa is a very good goalkeeper, young and promising. He's got a massive role to fill, and I think he's actually done quite well. Mm-hmm. He's just got a front four in front of him that just leave him pretty exposed. I mean, David Luiz, again.
David Luiz. That's all you have to say.
It's just incredible. I mean, honestly, a Marcus Alonso was useless. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're getting paid to play professional football, and he just puts his boots and socks on and slaps a pair of shorts on and a t-shirt and thinks, all right, let's go have a kick about. He's shit at the moment. I mean, the times where he was brilliant under Conte. He was fantastic. He was going forward all the time. Fantastic. Yeah. I'll give it to Azpilicueta, captain, obviously, but he's always filled his roles and filled his shoes. Fair play to the lad. Really, I think he's a solid player. But Alonso, useless. David Luiz, useless. Rudiger, close to useless.
Right.
And Sarri, equally as useless.
Yeah. So my big thing with Chelsea, it seems like, is that there's no, and you kind of alluded to this, is that there's no competition for places at all. It's the same people get brought off the bench no matter what. Like you said, Odoi couldn't get off the bench against the Man U in the FA Cup. They have promising young players, Loftus-Cheek, and none of them want to stay because they're just never going to get to play for no reason. For instance, I don't know why Pedro plays ever. I mean, he's ass.
Again, I mean, absolutely. You look at more the attacking side of it. I look at more the defensive side of it. That's why we get along. We've always had different opinions, but it works. We all come to the same conclusion. And we're like, oh, okay, Chelsea is shit. Yeah. No, I mean, again, I think Higuain was a brilliant signing for him. I really do. I thought, good. I wanted to see him play in the Premier League for a long time. And, I mean, granted, it was Huddersfield, but those goals, my God.
Yeah, he's a great striker.
Fair play to you, son. Yeah, fair play to you, son. That's absolutely world class. World class. However, who's feeding him? That's your question. I mean, you've got, in my opinion, the best defensive midfielder in Kante.
Yeah, and he's not even playing defensive midfield.
Exactly. Why?
It's just mind-blowing.
Why would you put someone who's just won a World Cup and has literally run for the last... When did Leicester win the league? 3 years ago? Mm-hmm. Literally run box to box.
It just makes no sense.
And it's just fair enough. And honestly, to be honest with you, I don't like Man United. I can't stand Man United. But I'll give it to him. Solskjaer's doing wonders with him. Yep. The only reason I didn't like him is just thought Ferguson was a dickhead. And it's also because I've got Scouse parents from Liverpool, so of course they don't like them. Right. So that's how I was brought up. I'll give it to him. They have got better, in my opinions, and I do respect Manchester United and the football style they play. It's phenomenal at the moment. Yeah. Chelsea is another team that I just think is a lot of money. Abramovich's money. They used to be historically weren't very good. Yep. And climbed the way up. I mean, don't get me wrong, their successes have been great. I'd rather them beat Man United than Man United beat them, but here we are.
Yeah.
Thanks, sorry. And it just thought, all right, what can we do here? Just what can we do? And as you said, no competition for places. You're absolutely right. You look at City. I mean, granted, it is elite, but they're the other side of the 6-0 game here. So you look at them. They have. I mean, granted, they clearly have a rotation because they've got more than 11 players that they could field comfortably.
Right.
But they are week in, week out, stunning.
Yeah, and Pep motivates those guys to play in practice and for the competition. Yeah, he's the right type of fit. I'm glad you brought up Man U. Because what you say about them under Ole Gunnar there and how the two teams have... Because Man U is in a similar position, right? In crisis under Mourinho.
Absolutely.
And Man U went back to, of course, he's still interim, but went to someone who grew up within the club, played for the club, and understands what the old Manchester United identity was. And now you see it. Manchester United, as much as you and I don't like them, are back to being Manchester United. They're back to having their mojo. Now, of course, they're only in fourth place right now because of how bad they were earlier in the year, but you can still sense it, and they've obviously gone back and forth. And we'll talk about the Champions League a little bit where they got their ass kicked by PSG. But the point still remains, Manchester United have the feel, they have an identity. Chelsea have no identity right now. And you brought it up, you just said they're a bunch of Abramovich money. Chelsea have not had someone, I mean, I didn't make a list of managers for them, but I guarantee you, I could look it up right now, and it's probably 12 managers in the past 8-9 years. Since Abramovich took over. And it's probably more. And that's insane. You cannot establish an identity with that. Manchester City now, under Pep, identity. Chelsea, identity. Or not lack of identity, sorry. Manchester United, getting an identity again. Liverpool, under Klopp, a great identity as a counter-attacking, hard-working team. The list goes on and on. Even teams like Wolves, Leicester when they won the title, Barcelona, Real Madrid, all these teams rebound once they get the right guy in charge because they have an identity. So I've heard this floated around by a couple people. Obviously, prominent Chelsea players have retired in the past. Why don't you bring in Frank Lampard then at the end of the year if you're going to get rid of Sarri? Because if you go out and hire some other schmuck from Europe, it's not going to make a difference because it's going to be the same thing. You have to have someone come in, give them time. First of all, Klopp wasn't a success immediately. Barcelona wasn't necessarily a success right when Pep came in. They had to give him time.
Absolutely.
And Dortmund, same thing, building an identity there. So if you bring in someone like that, whether it's Lampard, whether it's Cech, because he's now retiring, someone like that kind of gets the Chelsea when they were winning. Because you're right, they aren't historical, but it's like you can't just keep doing this every 2 years, winning a trophy once and then cycling through. That would frustrate the hell out of me if I was a Chelsea fan.
Absolutely, and there's no doubt about it. They are a very good club, and they have the potential to be. And as you say, you nailed it with identity. You really did. All of those sides are they're sublime. They are. Yeah. From a football nature, they are sublime, and Chelsea should be up and running with them. As much as Mourinho clearly bottled it at United. My joke I always like to say is, he always said back in the day, I'll always get the better of Manchester United. He did. He made them absolutely useless when he went and coached for them. But it's true. He really did. He dropped them. But, at Chelsea, he was brilliant. Granted, Drogba and Lampard and Terry and Cech were the spine. They were the spine of that team. It's the fact, even now, I could still say it off the top of my head who the spine of that team was. They were brilliant.
Yep.
And I still think he's got his tactical points. I think he's got there, but he became very negative and monotone publicly, is what you could see at Man United. And he just didn't click. He just wasn't about the United way. And as you say with Solskjaer, he's walked it day one. It's that whole sense of leadership, isn't it? The positive outlook on the world, and just being there and building those personal relationships out, because at the end of the day, it is a job for them, within the workspace. The first thing I noticed immediately with Solskjaer, when he was there, was under Mourinho, Man United played narrow football.
Yes.
And what I mean by you know what I mean, but
yes.
for the people as well, they were never wide utilising the space. The first game, I think it was Cardiff he played, wasn't it? The first game under Solskjaer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The first thing they did, put the wing backs high and wide, and bam, they were just. I mean, it was just immediate. It was immediate. They utilised the space. They broke down Cardiff, and I can't believe I'm saying it. And my dad might kill me when he hears this. It was enjoyable to watch Man United that game.
Yeah, they're fun again.
They are.
Pogba's a fun player to watch again.
He's fantastic. And he was, I mean, again, it's under that leadership, isn't it? It's all down to leadership style. He did not get along with Mourinho. Mourinho clearly didn't like him. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that you drop a World Cup winner. Granted, they're tired. They've played a massive major tournament. But he was, I mean, he won a World Cup with France. What else can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? So, I'll give it to the lad. I'll give it to him. Mm-hmm. And so Chelsea, going back to Chelsea, they've got a long way to go, and I think they will be great as soon as they get the right man. And I agree with the idea of Lampard, and he's doing wonders for Derby. If he can get Derby up, they're set.
Yeah.
They're set. And Ashley Cole's with him now too, and I think that honestly might boost the case if they do have a search, if they do come to fire Sarri, which I think the end is in sight, unless they somehow miraculously beat City in the League Cup final.
Yeah.
I think I really, really think that Chelsea have a long way to go. I mean, and also it's not to say for Chelsea fans out there, don't think, oh my God, we're screwed. I mean, you might be, and I kind of subtly hope that you are screwed. But that's besides the point. Mourinho said when he was at Man United, you'll never get a fourth. Not this year. We're not getting a fourth. Where are they now?
And fourth, yeah.
They have.
It's crazy.
Granted, they've been phenomenal, but that's the difference.
Right.
That is the pure difference.
Yep.
So, and then you look at it, even in the Champions League, they've got the work cut out for them, but they're playing.
Right.
They're playing football.
Yeah. So the three teams above Manchester United right now and forming a legit real title race, which I feel like we haven't had for a couple of years in the Premier League. We have Manchester City on 65 points with one game more played than Liverpool, who are equal on points, and then Tottenham 5 points back of Manchester City with a game less played. Tottenham, to me, have been surprising in the sense that they've been able to kind of keep pace, even though they're out Harry Kane and Dele Alli. And I know last Wednesday they had a scintillating performance against Dortmund. I mean, they were absorbing in the first half, came out 3-0 in the second half, and now the tie might be over. So Son is amazing. He's really broken out this year, especially in the absence now. And I think they're getting Kane and Ali back in two weeks maybe. So if they can keep the pace for a couple more weeks, they could keep this really interesting. Liverpool, obviously, fantastic this year. Salah hasn't been as otherworldly as last year, but still phenomenal. Mane performing at absolute levels. And Manchester City now had a couple slip-ups there, and now they've been absolutely dynamite. It seems like we're really going for a juggernaut race here. And one other thing that people won't necessarily consider but will matter is how far each of these teams makes it in the Champions League. Because the further on Tottenham goes, they didn't sign anyone over the summer or the winter. They don't have the squad really to do both. So it could be interesting to see how that works.
I mean, granted, they've been very good without Kane and Ali, but there was that they were getting a bit Spursy. Remember they beat Fulham just, and they got a bit close. And again, it's that depth. But the thing is with them, as opposed to Chelsea, both teams lacking in depth because Tottenham drained their funds with the new stadium.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you've got the younger ones stepping up, willing to play, which I'm sure at Chelsea you've got the young ones there. They're just not getting the chance.
Yeah, Harry Winks has been great for Tottenham.
Absolutely. I mean, took the word off my tongue. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, along with Gini Wijnaldum.
Yep.
For Liverpool, I think he's been fantastic for him. I really do think, it's going to be a full race. Hopefully, Liverpool have another slip up, Gerrard. And I mean, in all seriousness, Gerrard is an absolute idol of mine, although he played for a red side. Fantastic midfielder. Also, brilliant manager. He's doing wonders at Glasgow Rangers, right. So I'll give him that. But no, I mean, it would be nice for, and as much as I joke about it, as an Evertonian, I'd love to see Liverpool win the league for the city's sake, and for what Liverpool deserves. It's a good city, working class, good fun, great people, and I really think it's their time and deserve it. And it's not like it's just being given to them. They've worked for it under Klopp. They've really worked for it. I mean, they had a heartbreak due to Karius's little blunders in the Champions League. And if you're looking at Real Madrid, who's now won 13 of them, and after their little stunt they pulled last week against Ajax in the Champions League, I've come to the conclusion now that this VAR thing, which I think is a brilliant idea for world football, really do, really actually just stands for video assisting Real Madrid. That against Ajax was just appalling, the fact they let that stand.
I think you're just trying to rile me up as a Barcelona fan and get me on this.
Oh yeah, I'm just poking the bear there. And if you've got, I mean, as a goalkeeper, he made that play. Courtois made that play. He spilt the ball, and at that point, you're not deemed offside. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It's happened to me too. We've all made errors. We've all done that. Bollocks. But the fact that they got bailed out by that was just, in my opinion, I'm like, well, who's got the rule book?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's pretty poor. But I really hope Barcelona can keep thriving as well. So
play them twice over the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, and I think this European Cup will be a good one for every team to watch. Even the Europa League, I think, might be an interesting one to watch. Yeah. Going back to the Premier League with that, Arsenal getting beaten in Belarus was hilarious.
Right. It's like every time you think they're on the up just a little bit, Arsenal. And I actually just read a book about the Invincible team from 2004, which is great. But every time you think they're on the up, they just come back and lose to a team in Belarus. That's just like, come on. Like, you guys really, like, it's not that anyone wants Arsenal to be bad, because they are a respectful club. It's not like Chelsea. But it's just like, you guys just keep getting in your own way.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
it's like one step forward, two steps back with Arsenal.
Exactly.
Again, great club. My dad went to the Arsenal-Leicester game earlier this year because he was just back over there for work, and I was like, oh God, I'm jealous. But he came home with a load of merch for the roommates, and obviously the one who loves it. So I was pretty appreciative of that. But he said the football was fantastic to watch firsthand. We'll see how Arsenal play, and I thought,
good luck with that. Yeah.
Not bad. I just thought that's not bad. What an experience. So it's better than watching Everton at Goodison, I'll tell you that.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love going to Goodison. It's the best atmosphere in the world, if you ask me. But it's like watching through. What I actually meant by that was it's like watching through. In England you have letterboxes. So your mail comes through the door, and it's like a narrow window. I'm just thinking, it's not really like a mailbox. But it's the equivalent of just, posting a letter through this thin little strip. That's what it's like watching at Goodison, because it's such an old stadium. So if the goalkeeper punts the ball up, for example, you go, all right, where's that got? Oh, it's there. And I could say, pointing out, where is it?
Right.
And to be, you look at the stadiums and stuff, like the Emirates, I mean, granted, it's got to be about 10 years old now, I'm guessing. Yeah. Brilliant stadium. Old Trafford, phenomenal. Spurs' new one looks unbelievable. White Hart Lane I didn't have a problem with either.
Yes.
Stamford Bridge, great stadium. So I think Everton's got plans for new ones. They really do. I'm looking at them thinking, come on, just turn the seats the other way, the way they're playing at the moment. Yeah, they might need to turn the seats and face the other way, though, just because it's a great stadium, but it's probably more of a social gathering at the moment. We're playing football. It's like, bloody hell. But we'll get there.
Someday.
We'll cross that bridge.
Someday.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, God, I hope.
So you handicap Liverpool to win the title then? Putting you on the spot here.
You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
I think they're going to bottle it at some point. I really do.
I knew it.
I think they're going to slip up. If there's a God, they'll slip up once. And I think they'll slip it up once. And I think City will swoop in, or at least be level on points. But you look at the goal difference. City are miles ahead on goal difference. Mm-hmm. So I think, if I were to put money down on it, I think at the moment I'd probably put City, because Liverpool have had a history with that. I mean, they tied with West Ham. That if they won that,
Right.
my answer would have changed. But you can't do that at this point. In this point in time, you can't. But they were top of the table at Christmas. That's a big standing point, and I think they'll be great.
Yeah.
And I would like to see the Reds win the league. So let's just hope. Let's just hope that they can pull the results in their favour. And as you said, the Vice President of Egypt himself has been phenomenal. I mean, the whole Andy Robertson at the back, Virgil van Dijk's brilliant.
Right.
Speaking of Liverpool, I read a transfer rumour about Matthijs de Ligt, who's at Ajax. My opinion, for anyone out there, this kid is possibly going to be the best centre-half in the world.
He's
and
phenomenal.
If he can play... he's brilliant. I mean, to captain Ajax at 18, I was lucky enough to be in Amsterdam and go and visit Ajax this summer. And that I obviously never got to meet him, but just how highly praised he is in the city by everyone is amazing. I mean, he's 18.
Right.
He's 19 now, but he was 18 at the time with a captain's armband on. You're thinking, oh my God, if he can get 5 or 6 years alongside Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool, that could be a dynasty for Liverpool at the back. And, honestly, I wouldn't have a problem seeing that. I mean, they would never shut up about their history to the Everton fans, I'll tell you that. Oh my God, I can't imagine. Cannot imagine.
Well,
it's bad enough. They still go on about the Champions League in 2005.
Right. Well, they haven't had anything since.
I mean, I will give it to them, though. That game
That
probably
was
was
incredible comeback, yes.
unbelievable.
I'll also take Man City because they're my preseason pick, so I have to stick by that.
I think City are still going to pull it off, to be honest with you.
Yep. So
maybe on goal difference.
Maybe it'll be really tight. Who knows? So want to move along here, play our game. It's kind of a friendship test, kind of not. I'm going to ask you questions about myself, and it'll be interesting to see what you come up with. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. This should be good fun. Let's see what we can do, Zach.
Okay. What are 2 personality traits that I have?
Personality traits. First one, you have a dreidel outfit. That in itself screams the proudest Jewish member I think I have met, and that is brilliant. You are the most outgoing person I think I can see. He's free to express himself. I mean, I know you're in Florida, but to walk around Disney in a dreidel suit with the history there, I think was possibly the ballsiest thing you've ever done.
It was the Christmas party.
That's right, even better. But on a more serious note, though, that's your Hanukkah. It's Hanukkah celebrations coincide around that time, and why shouldn't you? Which is hilarious. But I'm really proud of that, and I think that's a huge quality you have. Actually, on that note, this will make you laugh. So Vineyard Vines?
Yes.
The clothing company. So they make T-shirts for the holidays. They have Happy Easter. My roommate's got a Happy Easter one. There's a Merry Christmas one, Thanksgiving one. They've got a few of them. And my other roommate comes in the other day and he goes, "Oh yeah, we went thrift shopping the other day." I went, "All right. Did you get anything cool?" He goes, "Yeah, I got this. I haven't told you this yet." And he drops down a Vineyard Vines shirt which says, "Vineyard Vines, Happy Hanukkah 2017. I'm like, oh my God. This kid is not Jewish, man. Put out there. And it's brilliant. But friendship test. I'd definitely say most outgoing person I've met. I'm really free to express himself. What else? The other thing I'd say is probably the most intelligent and book smart person I know. And that's not me just saying that for the podcast. I'm sure the people know you're at University of Central Florida. With a very, very, very ambitious track in mind, which is absolutely brilliant. So hats off to you, with a wonderful scholarship. So I think that's absolutely fantastic, and all the best to you, mate. So
you are
I think
too
that's
kind.
Definitely them. Oh no, it's all true. It really is. I think that's, and also the other quality I've got is I've never seen anyone be as fit. Because I've got to give a third one here. I've got to, so just keep in mind. I've never seen anyone go into a slide tackle, closing their eyes, thinking, "Holy shit," and runs in, whether it's the ball or the man, gives them the crunch of their life. And I'll give that to you. very, very fun player to play with as well on the pitch, as well as a great friend. So
very, very kind.
That's me.
You know what the worst part about that is? Is that in IM soccer here, we can't slide.
Oh, that's just pathetic.
So, because I'm playing, and I mean, obviously they're intramural. It's not like high level like we used to back in the day, And of course now I got a bum ankle from it. But yeah.
Well done. Well done for that. I meant to say that too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not like the old days.
Oh no.
Well, you still play high level, so you still play college, so you can't relate.
I am fortunate to play in college, which is a great fun and great experience. But my God, it's another step up. I'll let you know that.
Yeah,
we'll save that for another time. But I was thinking I was playing an alumni game this summer, just in pre-season. I thought, you know what, I'll play out on the field for a bit just to get a bit fit, and it's a bit different, so why not? Mm-hmm. And I run back, good old British challenge, won the ball clean as day, may I add. The kid went flying, and he was like, oh my God, that really hurt. And like my head coach was like, Will, I can't have you injure my best players like now. I genuinely just won the ball. He goes, I know, that's the scary part, is you just won the ball. So
that's awesome.
Like, okay.
It's probably was it some weak freshman or something?
No, he's a good player actually. I played with him 2 years. He's a senior now, and I was laughing with him about it. He was like, oh, fair enough. But that was a right laugh. So what about me? I've got to ask the reverse question then.
Okay, you're certainly one of the can't say outgoing because you said that for me, but certainly outgoing, kind people that are out there. We'll always not afraid to do that, come out. But you're also on the flip side. If someone ticks you off, they're going to know. So it's like both ends of the spectrum there. It's like, I know, but playing together, there's one story we're saving for the next time you come on that, I mean, you just went bonkers. That's what I'm laughing
at now.
Yeah.
Wasn't bonkers.
Anyway.
It's fine.
But no, it was defensible, of course. It was proper. Oh, yeah. So definitely that. It's like 2-1, the outgoing and kindness, and also just genuine, like you just genuinely care. Obviously, I always talk about how I moved on the other side of the country from Ohio, and literally you and I are on opposite ends of the country, literally from Maine to Florida, and yet as we talked about over the break, winter break, when we went out to dinner and stuff. Just like I've never felt closer with you, and also that my brother was there, and I told this to my dad, I'm like, yeah, Will was awesome. He always keyed on in my brother, who's younger, and wouldn't necessarily get all the conversations we had, but you'd always key him in every 2 minutes, be like, so Max, this kind of thing. And it's just like, you're just such a genuine guy that you're like that, and you want everyone to be equally involved in the conversation, no matter what. There's no slights you see against people.
Thank you. That means a lot. So that really does. So that was good fun. I mean, as you said about living across the country from each other now, like we've always lived a bit of a distance. You're on the west side of Cleveland, I've been on the east side, but we always made it work, and we always have a right laugh. So thank you for that, Zach. That means a lot.
Yeah, of course. And let's do some more laughs. Story. This is one of the all-time stories from our playing days. In terms of, so I'll set the stage. We were in Orlando actually for a tournament, right? It was this Disney showcase, if I recall, right? We were playing at ESPN.
Was that the beginning of it though?
It was early on.
Or was that when it became public?
What do you mean when it became public?
This could have been anywhere. Either way, let's say I do remember it in Florida.
I think it started in Florida because I remember. I will set the stage with my dad and I stopped at 7-Eleven to get 2 ices because obviously from Ohio I wasn't used to living here yet, and it was very hot. So we get 2 ices, we drink them or whatever. We come back and it's the giant 44-ounce cups, right?
Oh yeah.
So now I'll let you kind of take the stage and now what happens with this 44-ounce styrofoam cup, because my dad does not throw away the cup once he finishes his drink.
Oh no, he doesn't. So we're all in there. You got your ices, and as normal Americans would do, you would normally just get a nice drink, but not my English parents. Oh no, they still went for the hot cup of tea. which raised some eyebrows. But anyway, that's beside the point. So, Mr. Schwartz has his Polar Pop Cup, and he's, finishing up his icy, and thinks, oh, you know what? It's past noon. It's hot. Let's get the buzz on, boys. Let's get the buzz on, says Mike. So next thing I see is Mr. Schwartz pouring his little handle of Jack Daniels that comes with him, and is slowly being put into the Polar Pop Cup. I think we had the afternoon off, didn't we, that day?
And, we played in the morning.
We played in the morning, which I'm still sure it was present early on in the morning too. Got him through that day too. It was his own hangover cure. So there he is, Mike Schwartz. Sorry, am I allowed to say his name?
Of course.
Oh, of course. So there he is, Mike Schwartz, with his Polar Pop in hand, disguised as an icy, and really it's just a big old glass of Jack Daniels, and he is swaying. I remember going to dinner, and he rolls into a fairly nice restaurant.
We went to the Asian place attached to the hotel, right? And this was a very nice hotel. Yeah. Yes, okay.
Yeah, it was the Omni in Florida. And we just said, yeah, we'll go down there. So, we're dressed relatively uptight, brushed up, and we all were pretty brushed up, looking good. And the last thing I was expecting was the Polar Pop to emerge from underneath the table and just planted onto the table when we're all going around putting drinks orders in. It's like, I'm good, thanks. And it's just sipping away. And my God,
you can't bring alcohol around a hotel lobby. Like, you can, but you know what I mean? It's not really great, especially to a restaurant. It's like, oh, I just went out and came back. Sorry, I have my Diet Pop from earlier. My bad. And you're right. He just pulls it out. And this cup lasted at least 3 days like this down there in Florida.
It was brilliant. I'm just like, oh, this story is fantastic.
I believe it came to soccer games too, right? It came to our games later.
It came to games. It came on weekends in Michigan. It was all sorts. It
became a recurring thing.
Oh, absolutely. It was brilliant.
Because I think
it was absolutely brilliant.
Because I think the specialty of that team, and you even hinted at it earlier, was that a lot of us were from different places. A lot of guys are from the east side. There were a couple guys like Sam, who's been on here, and I from the west side, and all our parents just mixed together, and we'd go on these long tournaments, and they just have a good time. And I know at least one time, our coach one time went down there with them, and they were all drinking away in the hotel. So it's just how it was. And of course, this happened, and all the parents are just like, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is next level."
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously our group had a fair few European parents in there, my dad being one.
Right.
Jared's parents and Matt's ancestry as well. And
yes.
I remember, and back in the day when we had, what was his name? Kyle Ardai as well. His dad was, I believe, Hungarian.
Mm-hmm.
He used to get around, and Mike Schwartz was always blending in, bringing the American aspect to this, right. Especially with this. Oh my God, it was brilliant. And your dad's the greatest man alive. That was hilarious. I mean, we've done some mad shit on these tournaments, but that was, I think that one takes the cake, just because it was just out of nowhere.
Right.
No one knew, and then he was just sitting there, just sipping away.
It's like everyone slowly caught on, and he's like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, and for the audience, your dad is nowhere near an alcoholic by any means. This was just on his holidays, getting his buzz on, and getting through the weekend, and I thought, this is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, having a good time.
Oh my God! And then my dad joined in too after that.
Right.
My dad just wasn't discreet about it. He just started getting the pints on. Really, just thought, why not?
At this point, we're dealing with crappy refs already. Why not?
Oh my God! But deal with it and just fuel the fire and the rage from the parents, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, truly.
Really good fun though. Great trip. Truly. Really great trip.
It was.
Oh yeah. We've had some good time over there.
Yeah, all of them will be uncased soon enough as you keep coming on this podcast.
Oh, of course, I'm more than happy to do it whenever. They are hilarious, and I know I'll get the others to watch them. But I'm just thinking, should we just tell the CSU story?
Let's save it. Let's tease it.
Save it. All right, fair enough. I don't mind doing that.
We'll save it in a couple weeks when you come back on for more Champions League.
Oh my God, I'm not proud. Not my proudest moment, but.
I think it's a great moment.
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad that's how I remembered.
Yep. It was excellent. It was perfect. Will, thank you for coming on.
Of course, Zach. Anytime, my man. Anytime. An absolute pleasure to be on here. Talking about anything, whether it's football or anything else. More than happy to have a chat.
Awesome.
You have a great rest of your day, all right?
Thanks. You too.
Thank you very much for having me on. Really appreciate it. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Assist Podcast. If you like the show, go drop a 5-star rating. That really helps us keep the show going. If you want to stay updated with all the podcast episodes, hit the subscribe button, and also go follow our Twitter, which is @assist_podcast, and our Instagram, which is now the Assist Podcast. And you can write any emails, any suggestions you have to theassistpod@yahoo.com, and we'll see you next week.